Your mindset can actually become habitual. If you're one of these people that constantly has a victim's mindset, you may not even realize it, but it may just be a habitual thought process that you go through every single day. Now, thought processes, mindset, all that stuff, it can still become as much of a habit as physical actions like smoking. The reason is because your brain stores it in a similar fashion. It's the same thing. You're still creating that deep groove in the gray matter of your brain, and it's like a highway that you can't get off of because of the walls on both sides of the street. You're going to get stuck in this habitual process every single time if you're unaware of it. Now, how do you become aware of having, a victim's mindset? Well, look at the things that you say to yourself. Why does this always happen to me? Victim's mindset. I can't handle this. Victim's mindset. Uh, anything that cuts off possibilities can be considered a victim's mindset. Okay. I just have the worst luck, or that never works out for me. It's just the way I am. That's the one I like the most. It's just the way I am. No, it's not the way you are. You is a matter of perspective. You decide who you become in life. You're not just who you are. Okay. Everything about you changes and grows as you go through life. If you are stuck being just who you are, that means you're stuck in life, and there's a reason for that. Okay, possibly it could be the victim's mindset that you have. Now, when you have a victim's mindset, it forces you to look at situations from that perspective. So instead of saying, why did this happen to me? Ask yourself, what is the lesson I'm supposed to learn here? Because this is happening for a reason. I'm supposed to learn something. And when I do learn that thing, I can move past this. That is a victor's mindset, not a victim. You want to be a victor. You want to win, have a winning mindset, a strong mindset. That's the whole point of this journey that I'm taking with you guys, is to strengthen your mindset and show you how strong that you can become, even if you don't realize it. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to help point out some things so you know, and when you become aware of your own strength, hopefully your life greatly improves. Now back to this mindset thing. Just like breaking any habit, it's easier to replace it with something. Okay, like smoking, people jump on the nicotine gum, whatever it is, chew on straws. I don't know. I've never been a smoker, so that's not my thing. But these are things that people do, and I understand that because they're trying to replace it with something. It's easier to replace than to just cut a habit off. Your brain doesn't like to just cut the habit off because it needs the highway. Okay, there still has to be a street there. Even if you remove the walls, you're still not going to not be able to drive on the road. So your brain has to have this little habitual highway. Okay, replace it with something else. So take those phrases that you were saying, oh, that's just the way I am, turn it into something else. Okay, this is who I was. Now I'm going to become this person. Okay, that is a trait of who I used to be. I'm not that way anymore. I have grown. I'm a better person now. I'm a changed person now. You have to be able to change in life to adapt and overcome. Okay, otherwise you get stuck and you fail. We don't want to fail. We want to get better. So change the thought. All right, man, that's just my luck. No, it's not. No, it's not. Luck is a concentrated power of will and determination. It is an energy that you carry about you. Okay, it is not some random thing that people get hit with. Okay, change your energy and your luck will change. You're going to start by, like I said, changing those thoughts. So you're forcing yourself to take a different action. When you do this long enough, your brain will adapt and overcome. So it's going to create a new groove, a new highway. I keep going back to that analogy. So let's just keep using it. All right, so you're going to create this new highway, and you're going to start to use the new behaviors more. Okay, the old behaviors will die out and fall off. When you start to utilize these new behaviors, it will change the chemical reactions in your brain automatically. Because you are forcing your brain to take a different action, it's going to respond physiologically differently. Okay. If any of you have ever listened to Tony Robbins, he talks about your physiological state, standing up straight, putting your chest up. He says, do the Superman stance. Okay. You know how when Superman is standing there and he's just, both feet planted, chest up, he's got his hands on his hips and he's just staring out like he's all powerful and everything, which he is. But you see what I'm saying? That stance. If you do that stance, you cannot help but feel better. Okay? It is a physiological response. It happens automatically. You are not in control of this. It just happens. So the next time that you feel defeated, sad, whatever, you're in a bad mood, go do that Superman stance for 15 seconds. Matter of fact, make it 30, because when you get to 15, you're going to be like, holy shit, this actually works. So hit it for 30 seconds, and it will totally change your mood. I promise you it's going to change your mood. Try it, because I've done it. I know it works. So when you force your body to do something physiologically different, it changes the emotion that's attached to it, because that is also an automatic response. Okay? Now you're starting to see how you can easily change things in your life. It's not, well, I said easily. It's not going to be easy, because you're going to have to remind yourself to do this. All right? This is not something you're automatically going to do, guys. You have to create the habit. So give yourself, I would say 90 days, but at least 30. Okay? At least 30. Be consistent for that long, and it will change your entire future. Okay? Back to the Superman stance. So you're depressed, you're sad, whatever it is. When you do this stance and that chest goes up, your head goes up, this being the normal reaction to happiness, your body's not going to know the difference. Okay? Your brain is not going to know the difference. You know the difference, but your brain is not going to subconsciously know the difference. So it's just going to switch the mood. All right? Try it. And when you see how it works, you're going to understand how changing the phrases that you think will work the same. Okay? Now, these aren't just phrases that are coming out of your mouth. They're phrases that you're telling yourself in your head. Most of the things that you say during the day are not out of your mouth. They're in your mind. Okay? The problem with that is that your thoughts carry way more energy than anything you do in the physical world. I'll explain that in a different video. But that energy that those thoughts are carrying is powerful enough to change the physiological state of your body. It's powerful enough to change your reality. It's powerful enough to change your actions. It's powerful enough to change your mood, your thoughts, and everything else attached to it. You have to realize how much true power and energy there are in your thoughts. All right? Don't just sit there and curse yourself out in your head. What you're doing is damaging the warrior inside you. What you're doing is dampening your own spirit. You're weakening yourself instead of strengthening yourself. And that is the point. That's why you watch my videos, to strengthen yourself, to get stronger, to get better. Okay? You can't do that if you're sitting there beating yourself up in your head, blaming yourself for every, thing that went on in your life, and constantly replaying the same bullshit in your head over and over and over again. You're conditioning yourself to be weak. Stop doing it. Okay? You have to remember this and force your thought. Trust me, I've done this myself. Yes, I know how hard it is. Okay? Yeah, trust me, I know how hard it is to stop cursing yourself out in your head and telling yourself you're a dumbass idiot and that you messed this up and that up and whatever else. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. It's already done. You can't change it. You can't go back in time. Okay? Does not matter. You're not helping anybody by beating yourself up. You're not helping anybody by cursing yourself out. It doesn't matter if you feel bad. Dumbass. You feeling bad doesn't change anything. It doesn't fix the situation. It doesn't make anybody feel better. It doesn't fix what already is done. The only thing that is going to fix what's already done is you changing and growing and becoming stronger. So that is the point. Okay? Start by changing the thoughts that you think, and it will change the thought processes that you have, and that will in turn change everything else. One step at a time. Boom, boom, boom. It's like dominoes. Okay? First things first, change the thoughts that you think. Change what you think, and your reality will change. All right? Do not have a victim's mindset. If you catch yourself saying any of those phrases, stop that shit immediately and realize that you are being a victim. You need to be a victor, a winner, victorious. That is what you're looking for in life. That's what you need. And I want to help you get there. So the first thing you're going to do is change the way you think. Okay? Now, guys, I'm going to keep doing these videos on the weekends. They're always going to post on a Saturday or a Sunday, usually around 10 a.m. It's a little bit later today, but it was busy this morning. You'll always see them between 10 and 12, though, okay, on the weekends. I would like some input from you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you would like me to go over something different, or if you just have something to say. I want to know what you think. I want to know how you feel. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next weekend.